But let's get down to business. There. All right. So it's been a while. It seems like it's been a while since we've had a game. It's been a game. It was like an early uh Wednesday, Christmas Day game that we've had. So we've had a little while since we've had a Ravens game, but we got one. Had one on Christmas Day. That score speaks for itself. 31-2. Nothing from the Texans in this game. This was I think even more impressive, I think, than the win over the Giants. Texans did absolutely they were about as a zero as you could get. They had maybe one drive, even that was kind of aided by penalties. They had the sack by you had the sack by they had the sack in the end zone that was happened as well. We'll go ahead and do that. Since we're live, I'm gonna order my food here. Food delivery showed up there. Thank you very much for that. That's what happens when you go live. Right? So as far as that goes, so definitely in this game, what happened? Lamar Jackson, our fearless leader, 10 for 15, 162. I think like Lamar, you're seeing a little bit less now with the MVP run total. As far as that goes, I think Joe Burrow is now in this thing. I'm seeing now because this team might get into play. I don't think they get in. We'll talk about that. And Josh Allen, I have no idea how it's going to go. More to the point, I'm not as worried about how the MVP race is going to go as far as that goes, but definitely how the Ravens are going to do as far as in the playoffs. I think that's more the focus for Lamar. 10 of 15 in this game. He did whatever he wanted to do. I think they ran the ball first, but if he'd have thrown the ball more, he definitely could have. Derrick Henry was just complete annihilation in this one. 27, 147, 1 TD. The only negative they had on Derrick Henry was when they tackled him in the backfield, like when they were on their own goal line in the first half. Then there was the safety. But other than that, it was all Derrick Henry. It was all Derrick. Derrick was fantastic in this one. I thought the line, believe it or not, I wasn't exactly happy with the line in this one. At left guard, Falele, I don't know what to say. If they can't win a Super Bowl, that it's right guard play that's really going to cost them. I really didn't think that was good, but that's really trying to nitpick. I mean, offensively, I thought they were as good as they wanted to be in this game. They didn't throw the ball a lot. They ran the ball a lot. I thought Justice Hill was solid until he had the injury. I'm sorry, they had Keaton Mitchell in this one. I thought the run game was about excellent. The offense is real deal. This is a Super Bowl effective offense that the Ravens have. Mark Andrews is still around. Yes, sir. 2 catches, 68 yards. I thought Andrews down the stretch here really is showing his color. He's getting still no longer getting all the volume maybe he once did, but the catches he's getting are really good. So Mark Andrews, I think, has been fantastic here down the stretch. Andrews, one of the better, I think, tight ends, I think, in the entire NFL still. This season has been weird for tight ends. A lot of the numbers are down across the board except for Brock Bowers. So, but I would say Andrews, I think, definitely prime for a stretch run. Roquan, best player on defense for them as well. Not much for Joe Mixon in this one. And I think Roquan was all up there within business. He had 7 tackles. I thought Roquan was really good, all over the field. Definitely to partnering him now, definitely looked like Trent Simpson just hit the bench. I really didn't see much of him at all. More of Chris Board next to him, and I think Chris Board and Malik Harrison getting the majority of the time. So this may be something maybe you may be looking at. Maybe not as happy with Trent Simpson, but Roquan I think is terrific. Roquan I thought was fantastic. Not his strongest season overall. I think he's been better, but he's been solid. Solid I think is a fair term for that. Defense overall was, I mean, they had a shutout effectively with the shutout. There was no points except for the safety in the end zone. So good stuff from the Ravens defense, obviously, in this one. Stroud, sophomore jinx is a real thing. Um, didn't He's airmailing passes because he doesn't trust his protection. The line that he has this year, not nearly as good as he had last year, and it shows, and you can see it. That's what's going on with Stroud. I thought as well. I thought their line play really is part of the issue, and the other issue, obviously, the wide receiver play. Tank Dell getting the injury, probably not going to play at all next year. Really gruesome injury last week. Stephon Diggs came in to help him. He got injured. Nico Collins is probably like the last man standing there as well. One INT. I'd stick with him though. I don't think we're going that far, but I think like need to shore up some things around him. Needs to mature a little bit. Nico Collins, since I brought it up, go to the right receiver. Three catches, 59 yards. Definitely easily the best receiver, I think, going forward. I think they're going to have to pair somebody with him in the offseason as well because you don't have any other receiving help. I think the Ravens did exactly what they should do. Watch Nico Collins cover him up. Marlon, I thought, was really good in this game as well. He's been good all year long. I thought they did a good enough job against Nico Collins in this one. Joe Mixon, not effective at all. A lot of that was, I think, because Roquan and the offensive and the interior was really good. Also, too, I think in this one, it was because they were behind. Like the Ravens just leaped up on them and they scored so many points. So Mixon really not effective in this one as well. Concerned going into the game about the pass rush they had. This was really all the pass rush they got in terms of overall look here. Will Anderson, half a sack. Tommy Talaga, they shared one sack. I put it as one sack. The Ravens line, look, their left side has been really solid all year long. Ronnie Stanley has been they have him take a pay cut. He's probably put himself in a position to really get big money in the offseason. Patrick McCary, up and down, but it's been a starter level right guard. Linderbaum, I think, might be becoming the best center in the NFL at some point. So the right guard has been problematic, but I think they held their own against a decent pass rush as well. Those French fries are for you, by the way. Those French fries are for you, by the way. Oh, okay. All right. Again, we're ordering food here. Right? So great stuff by them as well. I think they are not going to get any farther in the playoffs. I think the Texans overall have been disappointing. They're going to win the division. I think that's a more byproduct of the fact that the AFC South hasn't done anything as well. Colts not any good. Colts are having their issues. Titans obviously having their issues. Jags, no Trevor Lawrence a lot this year. So they're going to win the division. But these two teams are not on the same level. Not at all. So Ravens 31-2 in this one. And we got a game Saturday at 4:30. Okay. So it was a possibility. Most of the games are on Sunday. They're scheduling 2 games on Saturday because there's no game on Thursday and there's no game on Monday. So they got 2 games on Saturday. They didn't name any of the games up until the end of the games were over to schedule them in proportion to what matters. So the Ravens are getting an early 4:30 game on Saturday. So they're going to be the first ones to win. The Ravens winning simple, win the game. They're already in the playoffs. They'll be in as the AFC North champions for another year. They will be most likely the 3 seed. They will be the 3 seed. I don't think they can get the 2 seed from Buffalo. I think Buffalo is too far ahead of the test. So they'll be the 3 seed if they win. If they lose this game, there's still a chance they can win if the Squealers actually lose to Cincinnati. But if they win, the Squealers would have to win and the Ravens would have to lose for that to happen. If that was to happen, Ravens show up as wild card as well. So they're going to have to probably go on the road in the first round. MVP of the league is Lamar Jackson. He's been fantastic all season long. That touchdown to interception ratio is like you can't even do that on a game of Madden. He's going to go over the 4,000 passing mark in this one as well. I don't think there's any question about it whether he has been the best player in the league. It's close for a couple reasons because I think the offense this year has been better than it was a year ago on a lot of levels. But I think like it's definitely very close what the Ravens have done, what Lamar has done. But he's been fantastic. He shouldn't have any trouble in this one the way it's going. So Lamar, good stuff by Lamar all season long. Derrick Henry, I don't think he's in the MVP conversation. He's definitely, if he can have a monster game, he can get 2,000 yards. They have more than gotten what they expected from Derrick Henry, to say the least. I was I was a little skeptical of the Derrick Henry signing in the offseason, not because I didn't think that Derrick Henry would be any good or he was too old. That was kind of ridiculous. But I think like the way the Ravens don't really like bell cow. They don't really like to run the ball much with one back. But Derrick Henry, once they figured out, hey, well, let's go and use Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's been terrific for him all year long. 305, 173, 14 TDs. Derrick Henry has been fantastic for them all season. So definitely that is outstanding stuff by Derrick Henry all season long. Also here, Zay Flowers. I think we have been waiting for so long for them to feature a receiver, not just get the yardage, the catches, whatever. The offense has changed. Featuring Derrick Henry, looking for Zay Flowers. Okay, so long. John Harbaugh had the philosophy of, well, let's see how the game goes. With this way, whatever they were doing this and da. No, this year, second half, I've seen it. Posing their will, imposing Jay Flowers, imposing Derrick Henry, let Lamar do what Lamar does. That has been the formula. So they have actually, I think, learned a lesson from what's happened last year in Kansas City, imposing their will. Good offenses impose their will. They don't just let the defense and the fronts and everything dictate what they do. They're proactive, and that's what it looks like this year. Good stuff. Pass rush, we've kind of complained, but the numbers are decent here for your outside linebackers. Kyle Van Noy's having almost can go over the 12 sack mark over this year. Kyle Van Noy's been terrific. I've been raving all season about Kyle Van Noy. Setting the edge, playing the run well, mentoring the young guys, good head on his shoulders, fundamentally sound. That's what I see a lot, a fundamentally sound football player. Not a super athlete, but a guy who's fundamentally sound. Owe, 9 sacks. That's good. Owe, I feel like we're kind of waiting. I think this is big for him to get that 10 sack number, though. I think that would do a lot for him. Answer a lot of questions, whatever. If he goes ahead and gets out there Sunday. So really rooting for Daffy Owe to get that sack as well. Still maybe need to shore up some things with him, but I think that is a big deal for Daffy Owe to get that number here as well. I don't know who's starting at quarterback. So I don't know. They haven't announced it. Jameis Winston's probably on the shelf. They haven't. DTR has been starting Dorian Thompson Robinson or Bailey Zappi. I'm not sure. Neither of these guys is an NFL quarterback. Robinson can at least run a bit as well. I don't even think he's a Tyler Huntley. I don't even think he was the. I think the Browns kind of like him because he's young. Bailey Zappi, I think, was a backup in New England for a while. They may give him a shot because DTR struggled. They can't use James Winston, still hurt. Can't use Deshaun Watson. I don't know what to tell you. They're not going to score a lot of points in this game. The Ravens actually need this game. Jerome Ford, I have him on the graphic. I don't know if he's going to play or if it's going to be Pierre Strong. He's questionable for the game as well. They're definitely not going to have Nick Chubb out there, as we know. So we're going to have I think he should start if he's able to start. Could be the backup Pierre Strong in the game as well. This is the biggest drop off I think for them as well. You could talk about Deshaun Watson, but last year their run game and their up front they were so strong. Really fell in the abyss as far as their run game, as far as that goes. A bright light has been Jerry Jeudy. You look at the numbers here: 84 catches, almost 1,200 yards, 1166, 4 TDs. So good stuff from him. I think he's been a solid addition. 4 TDs. C. Swift kind of called him out. Jag, just a guy. So he's showing, man, I am more than that. I'm not Jag. I'm not a Jag. I'm not just a guy. I'm a guy who can come in and contribute at a high level here. And he's been their best receiver, regardless of the quarterbacking and all the issues that they've had. So it's been good stuff from him this season as well. So good stuff from him, one of the better, I think, wide receivers, I think, in the AFC North this season. No question about it. You look statistically, he's good. Are they going to have Myles Garrett going forward? That'll be interesting. 14 sacks. Look, this guy is fantastic production. So I think the Browns are definitely going to get a lot of offers for him in the offseason. He's to the point now where players get, look, I want to win a Super Bowl. I think about great players use one example, like Aeneas Williams. Played so many years on a bad Arizona Cardinals team. Get me to St. Louis, get me to somebody where I can go ahead and get a Super Bowl victory. So somewhere where I can go ahead and win a world championship. I think he's kind of at that point, but you better put 2-3 guys on him in this game as well. X Factor. Let's start with Devon. I hit it by accident there, but Malik Harrison definitely looks like he's taking over as starter for the remainder of the playoffs, for however long this goes. Interested to see what happens, Malik, and not just in the offseason, but just going forward. We gotta know what he is, though. Like, good special teams guy, good contributing guy, good at the line of scrimmage as well. I think like he's not great in pass coverage, but at least they kind of know what they're getting. They can kind of do some different things with Malik, with Roquan in there. I think Roquan kind of feels comfortable with him and Chris Board. So we're going to put the X on Malik. Let's see how it keeps going. We know for sure they're going to try and run the football no matter who it is. And I think this is the Achilles heel of the entire starting group, Daniel Falele. I mean, again, people kept getting me in the comments like it was bad, the offense. The line was not bad. The line was not bad. He just didn't play well. This is not going to – you're going to go in the playoffs. Now you're going to see Chris Jones again. You're going to see in the first round, you may see Cam Hayward again. You're going to see some really good defenses here. And it's concerning to have this issue here. Maybe we can overcome it. Maybe they'll play Ben Cleveland or Voorhees, but I don't think they're going to do that. So, obviously, the Ravens are going to win this game big. I don't think they can't even. I question how many points they can even get. Getting the early game, I don't know how much of an advantage that was for the Ravens because I was kind of hoping almost it would go the other way. So they would get like a late Saturday game or a late 4:30 game. Pittsburgh would play first. So it's a chance that you could have been resting players if the Bengals were successful. But it went the other way. So that's an advantage, I think, for Cincinnati in this one. So they are going to have the benefit of maybe, Steelers resting players. Mike Tomlin, as of now, said he won't, but we'll see when it actually happens. But there we go. Ravens. This Sunday coming up here, going against the Browns this week. It has now been, I definitely looked it up, it's been 30 years now since the announcement that the Browns were coming to Baltimore when the late Art Modell actually moved the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore. It has been that long. I was actually just coming out of high school. That tells you how long ago it was. And now we're going to have the last game of the season here, the Ravens and the Browns. All right.